Reaching the highest rank in Master Duel is tedious, but not necessarily difficult, given that you have the time, the patience, and most importantly of all, a good deck. This is made easier via the tools offered in-game, such as the crafting mechanic and the ability to buy gems. Thanks to these features alone, building any top tier deck is easier than ever with a few clicks of a mouse. However, this won't apply to me. I've decided to take on the Ultimate Master Duel Challenge. Starting off with 3 structure decks and a budget of 2,000 gems, I'll be attempting to climb the competitive Master Duel ladder till I reach Master Rank 1. No crafting, no buying gems. I'll have to solely rely on my ability to outplay my opponents and the luck of the pool. This is Master Duel from scratch. Hey guys, welcome back to Master Duel from scratch. On the last episode of the series, we began the implementation of the wheel, and even though it was unkind to us by providing us very little from the pack we unlocked, I still believe that it was a great addition to the series. Also, on the last episode, I did state how playing pure variant of Dark Magician was just not going to cut it anymore. I think we've reached the ceiling what Dark Magician is capable of, at least with the cards we have available to us. And we really need to branch out into some better strategies going forward. The Lair of Darkness build of the deck held its own surprisingly well and could work as a good shell for today's episode, but that all depends on what exactly we spin for today's episode. One last thing before we figure out what secret pack we're going into today. Since in the last episode we went 10 and 5, this means that we'll have an extra 500 gems to spend on whatever we want for today's spin. But with all that being said, let's see if we get lucky today. Alright, so here we are at the wheel, and I'm kind of excited and slash kind of nervous to see what exactly we'd spin for today's episode. As I stated at the beginning of the video, we do have an extra 500 gems for today, so hopefully we spin something good and make those gems count. With that being said, let's spin it. Alright, let's see what we get. Let's see. Secret Fighters. What's Secret Fighters? Let's check it out real quick. Okay, so it turns out Secret Fighters is the Spiral pack. This is pretty strong. You know what? There's a lot of hope for today's episode. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so here we are in Master Duel, and let's go ahead and check out Spiral. So I'm gonna go ahead and craft a copy of Spiral Master Plan. She's a really good card, and I kind of just want to craft her in order to like manifest us getting her essentially. So let's go ahead and craft one copy. There we go. We unlock the pack, and let's go ahead and dismantle her real quick. Alright, there we go. She's dismantled. Alright, let's go ahead and check out what we get from our free pack. Alright, let's see. Hopefully we pull something good from here. Okay, there's no hollow, so that's a little upsetting. Okay. The incorrect side, nothing there. We have fully armed. I'm pretty sure this is an okay equip spell, and super quantum white layer. We might be able to play the quantums. I'm not too sure, but we'll see. Alright, nothing exciting from the first pack overall. However, we do have a total of 25 packs for today's video. So hopefully we get something good. But before we get into the pack opening, let's go ahead and cover what cards we're able to get from this pack. So starting off, we have cards like Spiral Double Helix, an incredibly powerful Link monster for the deck that ended up making it viable in the TCG. Because of this one card, it became an actual like tier 1. I might be misremembering, but I think at one point it became like tier 0, but I could be wrong. The point is, this is an incredibly powerful Link monster for the deck. Besides that, we have cards like Spiral Super Agent, which is really important for the deck. We have cards like Quick Fix, which I don't know how well we're going to be able to use it, because we're probably not going to be able to do like the machine dupe effects with them, which was insane, by the way. We have cards like Spiral Gear Drone, which is really great. Spiral Master Plan. If I remember correctly, there was a variant of Spiral in the TCG that played cards from the Dark Magician strategy, like Magician Souls, in order to send cards like Spiral Master Plan to the graveyard, which was really strong. We're probably not going to be playing something similar to that in today's episode, because I do want to focus on Dark Magician, with Spiral being a supplemental engine for it. So we'll play around with that. Spiral Sleeper is another great monster for the deck. We have Spiral Resort. Overall, the deck has a lot of very powerful cards in it. Spiral Tough is a really annoying monster too, that can essentially become a beatdown strategy on its own. Overall, yeah, I'm super excited for this. I will admit though, I am a bit hazy on the way the spiral deck works exactly. I've never piloted it myself. However, I am very excited to try it out and see what exactly we can come up for today's episode. With all that being said, let's get into the pack opening. All right, first 10 packs. Let's see what we can get. Okay, we see a lot of super rares here. That's not bad at all. All right, first pack. All right, let's see. Okay, the hollow is in the wrong side, which sucks. Chaos Deathless. That's kind of interesting if we start playing a chaos variant of the deck. Last Resort. I think that guy's pretty good too. All right, what's the super? Traptrix. This is a Traptrix monster, yeah. We can't really use it though, which is a shame. I would have preferred it like any of the Traptrix trap cards maybe, but not that card specifically. Or the trap holes, I guess. Let's see. Nothing there. Blue layer, white layer, and okay. All super quantals. Let's see. Pack 3. Alright. That's kind of cool. We have a Rubik and a Seer in the same pack, which is really cool. I think we have quite a few Burning Abyss monsters if I'm not wrong. No, okay, that's the wrong ultra. We don't want Super Quantum Meg King Great Magnus. Really cool card, but not what we're looking for. All right, here's another super pack. Hopefully the super is on the correct side. I don't see it. It's probably hidden somewhere. Okay, nothing there. More, okay, Tough is cool. However, we're not getting the stuff we wanted to. Also, we got baited there, so that's not great. Let's see. Halfway through the pack. Okay, we have 2 supers in this one. Resort Staff. Okay. What's this one? Book of Eclipse. That's kind of insane, actually. We're probably gonna be playing that in our Meg deck. And oh my god, please, why? Neo Super Quantum Meg King Blaster Magna. I appreciate the hollows, but these are the wrong ones. Honestly, I cannot fathom just how unlucky we get with our pack opening sometimes. Yeah, no, that was nothing at all. A Gaia plate, that's cool. Not, we can't use it, but that's cool at least. Let's see. Okay, pack 7. This is not looking good, guys. Weathering Soldier. Oh, that's cool. It's one of the cards that you use in fossils with Gaia plate. It's kind of neat. 2 blue layers, and what is this? Mikano Dance. Yeah, no, we're not gonna play that. Pack 8. So far, I don't think we've gotten a single playable card, to my knowledge. I think that's our first Super Quantum Fairy Alphin. Oh, Sleeper. Okay, finally. Sleeper's good. However, I think we need more spiral monsters that can facilitate the strategy. Specifically, which one's this one? This is a runic card. Activate if your opponent adds a card from the deck to your hand. We might play this. It's one of the worst, one of the less good runic spells, but still pretty good. And Romulus is interesting, but I don't know if we can use it well. We're on the last pack, and this has been kind of disappointing so far. Nothing there. Oh no. No. A second Blaster Magna. Oh wow. Rescue's cool though. No, this is looking rough. Yeah. My god. Do we hopefully these the quantals, the super quantals are playable on their own. Maybe we can play them in the deck, but it's not looking great so far. We only have 1 Elfin. I'm pretty sure that guy's really important for the deck. We have 2 white layers and 4 blue layers. For the spiral stuff though, seems like we have 2 last resorts. We have 2 big reds, fully armed. We have over a playset. Um, and I'm not loving it so far. All right, guys. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of considering pivoting off Spiral to open up Beastly Claws of Terror. So this is right here. We just barely unlocked this by from unlocking Book of Eclipse. So this is the Scareclaw pack, and Scareclaw is a pretty good archetype overall, with a really annoying boss monster. Honestly, kind of worth considering to unlock this pack specifically, just because a lot of these Scareclaw monsters are very low rarity, while the Spiral stuff is a lot higher. However, I kind of want to commit to Spiral too, but the pulls we've been getting are pretty disappointing. I might hate myself by the end of it, but we'll commit to Spiral, I guess. I kind of want to do the first 5 individuals. Yeah, let's do 5 first. All right. Okay, this one has a hollow. Let's see if it's any good though. Okay. And King of the Swamp. Honestly, I don't hate that. Let's see what else we have. Nothing. Okay. King of the Swamp's interesting. All right, pack 2. Okay, nothing there. Well, at least nothing hinted at it. There's another super. You kind of want the supers to be on the Spiral side though. TG over Dregnar. No, not playing TG. Okay, pack 3. Please give me some playable core for this deck. Pretty please. Let's see. It's looking like we're probably going to be playing a variant of... oh, that's another tough. That's good. Resort. That's fantastic. We might just start... I think so far for this episode, we might just play another variant of Lair of Darkness again. The Spiral stuff is looking a bit bleak at the moment. Yeah, no, that's not great. Is it? Oh, it's a rank 7 at least. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's playable. What is this? Our Genix Ultimate. Okay, it's a Genix card. Who cares? One last pack. Super rare. Okay. Ending on a hollow. Let's see. Misty. We have another staff. Another white layer. Oh, Utopic F-Zero Draco Future. This card. Wait, do we have the other Utopic monster? F-Zero? Maybe. I don't know. Quick Fix. That's really good too. The main card I'm looking for is what's her name? Master Plan, I believe that's her name. Okay. Yeah, I guess we'll go 10 deep. Oh boy. Oh wow. This is somehow worse. Yeah, I'm gonna kick myself over this, honestly. Alright, screw it. Let's see. Nothing there. Okay. Not getting much. Alright. Yeah, sorry guys, I don't really have much to say for this. It's kind of just really bleak and disappointing overall. Okay, we have another alpha, and that's good at least. Besides that, not much to get excited over. Wait, hold on. We haven't gotten a single red layer, have we? Is that a super in the pack? I forget. No, this is a cruel joke at this point. A third one of these guys? That's ridiculous. You know, sometimes I think I overplay just how bad my luck is with pack openings, but you know what? No, I think I'm very much in the right about this. Like my luck is beyond trash with this. Yeah, no, more garbage cards that I don't need. Let's see. Nothing, and shit, nothing. Man, yeah, no, Spiral is a flop. 2,500 gems, by the way, down the drain. Yeah, nothing. Wow. Ancient Warrior. Maybe it's good. Yeah, no. Last pack, guys. Do we have any semblance of hope for this? Okay, it's an upgrade. Maybe. Alright. What do we have? An Evil Eye? Albast the Ashen. Would have been great if we had the Albast pet. Oh man, okay, there's Master Plan. Two Master Plans. I don't know how to feel right now. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that. Oh boy. Okay, well, red layer was a ultra, that's why. Okay. This sucked, but we'll see what we can do. All right, see you at the deck build. Alright, so here we are the deck profile, and you know what? I was complaining quite a bit about the pulls for today's episode, but overall, they weren't actually all that bad. Even though we are missing quite a few important key pieces, I still think this looks pretty alright, all things considered. So let's go ahead and go over the card by card and explain why exactly I chose the cards that I did. I'm gonna go ahead and for today just skip over the Dark Magician stuff because we've gone over it so many times now, and at this point you're probably just used to seeing a lot of these cards. So let's go ahead and begin by talking about the new engine, that being the Spiral engine. Starting off, we're going to be playing one copy of Spiral Quick Fix. This card, all it does is on normal or special summon, it's able to add us a Spiral Gear card from our deck to our hand. Do keep in mind this is a soft once per turn, meaning that we can summon it multiple times. We're able to recycle this effect a lot of times, which is very powerful. Speaking of, we are playing one copy of Spiral Gear Last Resort. This is going to be one of the targets we're going to be searching off Quick Fix, which is a monster that is able to equip itself to another Spiral on field, and when it does, it gives that Spiral monster protection from battle and card effect destruction, as well as targeting protection. So this card is pretty damn good. The other target that we're going to be searching off Quick Fix is going to be Spiral Gear Big Red. This card just works as a premature burial for Spiral cards. You just activate it, target one engrave, and special summon it. Typically, we're going to be using this to special summon our Master Plan from the graveyard, but more on that on a second. Additionally, this card also does give our monster battle protection, so that's pretty neat. Alright, speaking of Spiral Master Plan, this is going to be one of the best cards in our deck, and it's going to be the primary thing that gets our engine going. I did consider playing two of her, but since we don't have multiple copies of Spiral Resort, I went ahead and just played one of her. As to what exactly she does, this card reads once per turn you can add a Spiral mission from your deck to your hand. We're only playing one of them, so we'll go over that in just a sec. However, the important part of this card's effect is that when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, it's able to add us a Spiral Resort, which is a field spell, and a Spiral Monster from our deck to our hand. Moving on, let's go ahead and talk about the card that she's going to be searching, that being Spiral Mission Rescue. We don't care about the first part of this card's effect, not really. It could come up, but it's whatever. The important part of this card's effect is that in graveyard, we were able to banish it to special summon one Spiral monster from our graveyard. So one of the key plays we're going to be looking to do in this deck is that if we open Magician Souls alongside Big Red, this is full combo for the Spiral line. We're just able to activate Magician Souls, send Master Plan to the graveyard, activate Big Red, summon Master Plan searches Rescue, we activate Souls to send the Big Red and the Rescue to the graveyard, we draw 2. Then we just link these two away and we go ahead and plus like an unbelievable amount, which is phenomenal. Our deck has not been able to do crazy plays like this whole time. So I'm super excited for this. So what is the big payout for playing? Actually, no, before we can go into that, let's go ahead and talk about Spiral Resort, the field spell. This card's really good. I like it a lot because first off, it gives all Spiral cards on field targeting protection, which is insane. Additionally, it has the effect that once per turn, we can add a Spiral monster from our deck to our hand. So this is just able to rotate the whole deck, which is phenomenal. It does have a maintenance cost where once per turn, if we don't shuffle back a monster from our graveyard into the deck, it does destroy itself, which isn't all that bad because we can always just recycle cards like Magician Souls back into the deck. So that's pretty alright. Now onto what the whole goal of this deck is, and that is summoning Spiral Sleeper. This guy has a special summoning condition where we have to banish 3 Spiral cards in our graveyard in order to special summon him. What is the benefit of summoning this guy? This card allows us a once per turn able to pop 2 cards on our opponent's side of the field as long as we pop 1 spiral on our field. And this is a once per turn effect that can activate on mine or in my opponent's turn, which is really strong. Typically, what we want to do is we want to get a sleeper on field equipped with a spiral gear last resort and have a face up last resort on field as well. This essentially means that resort's going to be protecting our last resort, which is going to be and last resort's going to be protecting our sleeper, which makes it very difficult to out. And whenever we activate the effect of sleeper to pop a card on the field, we can target itself, and then it's going to remain on field because it's being protected by the effect of last resort, meaning that we just get to once per turn just pop 2 cards on the opponent's side of the field for free. And that's essentially what the main deck is trying to do. We of course are playing still a sizable Dark Magician package, just because being able to set up something like the Dark Magicians alongside a sleeper, which is not half bad at all. And it becomes even crazier if we're able to set up the Dark Magician the Dragon Knight alongside a sleeper. So I think this is a overall really strong version of our deck, probably the strongest version we've had thus far. Alright, so now onto the extra deck. There's nothing all that special going on with the extra deck. We are playing the same fusion monsters, of course. However, the interesting thing is that we are playing a lot more Xyz monsters. So the reason for this is that because we want to enable the Utopic F-Zero engine. How this works is that if we get 2 Xyz monsters of the same rank, we can summon F-Zero. And when we have F-Zero on field, we can rank it up into number F-Zero Utopic Draco Future. What this card does is that it's unable to be destroyed by battle or card effects, and once per turn, quick effect, we can detach an Xyz material from it, negate the activation of a monster effect, and if we do, and that monster is on field, we can gain control of it, which is a very powerful disruption for our opponent's side of the field. So that's awesome. If we're able to establish like a sleeper in Utopic Draco Future, that's like a wild board for us. I know it's like a pipe dream, but like just entertain the idea, I guess. As for the links, there's nothing to write home about. It's just Imduk, Underclock Taker, Cross Sheep, and Berserker Atenyi. But with that being said, I'm actually kind of excited to pilot this. I feel like we can do pretty well, all things considered, on the ladder. With that being said, let's get to it. Oh, hey, Future Topsy here. Prior to doing all my duels for this episode, I had to do something really important, that being getting myself back to Platinum. I considered making this a whole segment of the episode itself, but decided against it because I had to do quite a few duels in order to get from Gold 5 all the way to Plat 5 all over again. So, as I said, I went ahead and grinded the whole ladder till I reached Plat 5, which still puts me below where we were last episode. But it's whatever, at least we're in Plat now. Alright, back to the video. Our first duel of the episode, we found ourselves facing off against yugioh. My opponent goes first, summons Royal Magical Library, and begins activating spell cards. However, before I let my opponent go off and FTK me, I use my 1 copy of Imperm to negate the effect, and preventing them from accumulating any more counters. On my turn, I demonstrate just how poorly I understand how to play spirals. However, on my turn, I demonstrate just how poorly I understood how to play spirals from the beginning. My opening hand actually looked great. I could have established a very powerful board, but instead I floundered through my turn, making numerous misplays. Till I ended up on only a cross sheet. Yeah, I genuinely don't remember what the hell I was thinking while making these plays. Embarrassed, I passed my turn and await to get FTK'd. However, my opponent uses a few spell cards and out of nowhere, scoops. Huh? That was weird, but hey, at least we got the win. Non-deserved, but whatever. On to the next duel. During Duel 2, I had a killer hand. I began by activating Illusion, and of course I get hit with Maxi. Man, I sure love these totally fair and non-problematic cards. Knowing I can't produce a board that will justify giving my opponent a whole new hand, I pass on nothing but a bluff. On their turn, my opponent reveals that they're playing Blue Eyes. Oh boy. Worst of all, they were actually playing good cards in their deck, like Assault Synchron and the Bestials. After comboing out for a bit, my opponent had a board of Baron, Blue Eyes Jet, and Celine. It seems like they messed up on their plays and overextended a little bit, ending on a board that wasn't as great as it could have been. However, they come up short on damage and I get one more chance to get back into this game. On my turn, I do everything in my power to bait out their 1 negate. I use the effective illusion, they don't respond. I normal summon Rod, but nothing.
I then activate Salvation and bingo, that caused him to react. With no more interruptions to worry about, I am then free to combo off, and oh yeah, this deck is pretty sick. I fairly easily dismantled their entire board, and after a little back and forth between me and my opponent, I finally came out victorious. Man, that Blue Eyes Jet card, it's one hell of an annoying card. But you know what? We got through it. On to the next duel. Duel 3 begins with us going first, and oh yeah, this hand is pretty good. I go ahead and combo off for a bit, setting up the Spiral Sleeper play, when out of nowhere I see the Rock. Oh god, we got nibbed. Since our deck is pretty bad, that's more than enough to put an end to our plays, and we pass. My opponent begins their turn with the activation of One Day of Peace, which ensures that we won't get OTK'd at the bare minimum. I then see that they're playing some form of Dragon Link deck, and oh boy, that's gonna be fairly hard to beat, especially with me having no interruptions in hand. However, midway through their combo, they decide to just scoop out of nowhere. Man, second time today, what's going on here? Well, no use complaining over duels where my opponent scoops. I mean, platinum duels are gonna be way tougher going forward, so let's enjoy whatever victories we come our way early on. My fourth duel begins with me going second and my opponent passing on only 2 set cards. On my turn, I completely beef my turn by activating Illusion of Chaos before activating Preparation of Rites. My opponent negates the effect of Illusion and I'm pretty much out of place. I use the effect of Rites and then my opponent reveals that they're playing Dark Magician as well. Due to my grave mistake at the start of the duel, I end up passing on a copy of Quick Fix and not much else. On their turn, they make a copy of Ebon, which then leads them to make a copy of Red Eyes Flare Dragon. Needless to say, they easily clear my entire field, but I still get one more turn to make a comeback. It's my turn once again, and I have full combo. I go through all my plays till I end on a board of Sleeper equipped with Last Resort, however my life points are looking really low. I then out my opponent's field, and on main 2, I continue my plays and make the Dark Magicians then pass. On their turn, all they can do is special summon Dark Magician and then scoop. That's a good win. Another scoop, but you know, we'll take that. Also, this duel did end up ranking me up to Platinum rank 4, so that's good. My fifth duel had a fantastic start. My opening hand looked phenomenal, and all my plays went uninterrupted by my opponent. By the end of my turn, I passed on a board of Boroko Dragon, who's just the big guy, a copy of the Dark Magicians, being backed up by an apprentice, and the best part about it all, I also had my Spiral Sleeper set up. It was then my opponent's turn. They began by the activation of Upstart Goblin, then another one, thinking to myself, alright, well, we drew Ash at least, we're in a good situation. We wait to see what they do, and then they enter battle. Oh no, this isn't good. Before I knew it, they activated Evenly Matched, and I opt to keep my copy of my Dark Magicians. During their main 2, they revealed that they're playing Striker. This should be fun. They get a little silly with their plays and end up making a copy of Decode Talker, and eventually ran out of plays. Fearing nothing on my opponent's side of the field, I go ahead and make a large board, banish their Decode Talker, which gives me free reign to OTK them. After the duel, I saw what exactly my opponent was piloting. They were playing a 52 card deck where Evenly was a one-of. I'm so happy that I ended up winning this duel because I would have been hella salty if I had lost due to Evenly, not gonna lie. Alright, on to Duel 6. Duel 6 was rough. My opening hand was extremely lackluster, one of the worst hands I've seen to date. Having no play starters in sight, I begrudgingly pass on my Eternal Soul and hope it's enough. My opponent begins their turn with the activation of Resonator Call. Oh no, I think I might be in a bit of danger. It appears that my opponent had dived into the new Resonator pack made available today. With no type of interruptions in sight, I have to sit there and watch them make an entire large board with some of the biggest monsters in the game. However, I will say that I'm actually kind of glad to see that the new support Jack received ended up being pretty good. I've always been a big fan of this deck, and you know, it's just good to see anime decks or fan favorite decks get good support from time to time. Anyway, back to what are my opponents doing. Surprisingly enough, they didn't have enough damage on board to take me out and only leaves me on a measly 1100 life points left. On my turn, I know I pretty much have no hope of winning this duel, but I still try. I summon Dark Magician using Eternal Soul and try to fusion summon. However, my opponent activates Abyss, negating the fusion. I then draw using the effect of Servant, and at this point I decide, screw it, let's just get this duel over with, and crash my monster, ending the game. Oof, that was rough. That Resonator deck goes unbelievably hard, and I mean, it didn't help that my hand was also awful, but what do you expect when you're playing Dark Magician? On to the next duel. After that ass kicking we received, we're on to Duel 7, where we faced off against Branded Bestial. They went through all their standard plays, eventually summoning up to their field a copy of Mirror Jade, the Bestial Lubellion, and a Luber. Needless to say, this was going to be a bit rough. My opening hand looked pretty good. However, during my turn, every single little move I made was met with some form of interruption on my opponent's side of the field, to the point that I ended my turn with a field that was completely empty and in my hand only having one copy of Dark Magician. So it's obvious to see that my opponent then on their turn entered battle and ended the duel. Wow, that was not even close. That was two humiliating losses back to back. We gotta fix this. On to Duel 8. The last few duels we've had so far have been rough. We've been getting our ass handed to us, and we desperately need a win right here, right now. During this duel, I get to go first, and my hand looked pretty alright. I activate the effect of illusion to get my souls, and I get ashed. Oh brother. Having pretty much no place left, I then set my hand and pass. On their turn, my opponent activates the Cashiera field spell, searching for Unicorn, and yeah, you get the picture. It's Cashiera. But what made things worse, they were also playing Snake Eyes. Holy crap, this deck is insane. Especially against my deck. Anyway, as I'm sure you can assume, I ended up losing this, and it wasn't even close. Well, let's hope this losing streak doesn't continue, because I don't want to get a losing record by the end of the episode. On to Duel 9. It's Duel 9 now, and we really need to bounce back. We've lost 3 duels in a row, and those duels were not particularly close. And oh boy, this hand is absolutely cheeks. I begin the turn with the effect of Last Resort to search for Quick Fix. Then summoning him, I then search for a copy of Last Resort. But as I do this, they activate Shifter. Ugh. You know what? It's whatever. It's not like this hand could have accomplished all that much anyway. I pass turn, and they begin with the activation of Desires. Banishing 10, and I decide, you know what? This is probably a good time to activate Ash Blossom. After that, they activate the effect of Bigfoot and pop my field spell. They then summon a monster, attack, and scoop once it didn't get destroyed. Alright. Weird win, but we'll take it. Third time now that someone scooped on us. This is a weird episode so far, but at least we did get a win. During Duel 10, I got to go first, and my hand looked really good. I had everything I needed in order to set up my spiral line. However, without access to a card like Rod or Illusion, I wasn't able to do any Dark Magician plays. Instead, I had to settle with a field of Berserker Atenyi, Sleeper, Apprentice, and Ascent Emperor, alongside Eternal Soul. Granted, only 2 cards on my field do anything, but I'm actually feeling really good about this turn. My opponent then begins their turn with the normal summon of Manji. Realizing that this card can search literally anything for their deck, I recklessly activate my Imperm, negating it. They then activate Libromancer Origin Story. Huh? I've never actually played against Libromancer. This should be interesting. They continue through their plays, and I try to interject wherever I think is the most promising time to capitalize on interruptions. Eventually, they manage to summon what I imagine is their boss monster in Libromancer Fireburst. A monster who's able to attack twice and does double damage. This is going to be a little annoying to deal with. On my turn, I try to see if I can win this duel right here, right now. I make a copy of Underclock Taker and reduce their ritual monster's attack down to 500 attack points. Hopefully this does it. Unfortunately, I come up short, leaving them on only 2500 life points. On their turn, they enter battle and destroy both my Link and my Dark Magician, leave me on 2000 life points only. It was then my turn once more, and it's about time we wrap this duel up. I activate the effect of Last Resort to allow my sleeper to attack directly, and with that we win. Woo! Okay, that was a nice back and forth between me and my opponent. This felt good. After those horrendous 3-loss streak, I'm glad that we're getting a nice win streak going. Let's keep it up. We're now on Duel 11, and we're on a hot streak. The duel begins with my opponent going first and setting 4 cards, and passing. However, my opening hand is looking pretty good, giving me a clear line for the spiral plays. As I go through my plays, I get Master Plan on board. But as I'm about to activate her effect, my opponent activates Widow Anchor, negating her. But that's not enough to stop me. I continue comboing off, get Sleeper on field alongside Berserker Tanyi. I enter battle but can't quite clinch this duel. I pass turn, and during my opponent's turn, they do everything in their power to beat me. But it's just not enough, especially with Sleeper and Last Resort on field at the same time. Eventually it's my turn once again, and I'm easily able to get through my opponent's board. Oh my god, we are one duel away from ranking up once again. Let's focus, let's do this. Alright, we got this. We're on Duel 12 now, and I'm feeling pretty good. One more win and we can finally reach Plat 3. During this duel we go second and realize our opponent is playing Striker. Oh boy, this is gonna be a bit rough. Of course, like every other typical Striker player, they open Engage and then special summon Kagari. However, before they can go ahead and plus a million, I go ahead and use my Veiler on their Kagari to prevent them from drawing any more cards. By the end of their turn, they end up passing on a copy of Shizuku and 2 set back rows, one of them being Widow Anchor. This is going to be a little bit of annoying to traverse. On my turn, my hand is looking pretty good, all things considered. I have a copy of Souls and Big Red, which means it's pretty much Spiral full combo. However, I did open my copy of Last Resort, so I went ahead and activated. As I activate my field spell, my opponent goes ahead and chains their Cosmic Cyclone on it. Oh man, this is not good. I then try to get back into this duel using my Big Red to special summon Master Plan. I continue my play, special summoning Apprentice, and destroying their Shizuku. I cringe looking back at this turn on how poorly I went ahead and piloted. During main 2, I try to use Master Plan, but it gets ashed. But not accomplishing all that much, I go ahead and pass my turn. On their turn, my opponent goes through their standard Striker plays once again and end on a copy of Axis Code, who isn't actually able to finish up the duel. This means that I get one last chance to get it back into it. During my turn, I try my best to get back into this duel, establishing a copy of Circle and banishing their Axis Code Talker with the effect of it. Then I pass my turn. It's their turn once again, and they get access to a copy of Afterburner. They go ahead and activate it and destroy both my Dark Magician and my Set Fusion spell. They then pass it back to me, and I have one last chance to get back into this game. I draw into a copy of Salvation, activate it, and then set my copy of Eternal Soul, then pass my turn. It's their turn once again, and this duel is as good as over. I go ahead and activate Souls to then get rid of my opponent's Kagari, but they go ahead and hit me with the Ghost Spell, and that was GG's. Oh man, it's never fun for me to face against Sky Striker. Well, so much for ranking up there. Hopefully in the next couple of duels we can finally reach Plat 3. Alright, on to the next one. Duel 13 was nothing but suffering. I'll go through this one quickly since it was nothing more than a snooze and quite sad to watch. I went first, opened an awful hand where I just set Imperm and prayed. On their turn, my opponent activated the effect of GG Limit of Removal, a crazy search spell in my opinion, so I decide to Ash it. But as I do this, they activate Wanted, and I am about ready to cry. They summon Diabellstar, and I negate her with the effect of Imperm. They then pass their turn. I then draw into Dark Magician, and yeah, this isn't looking great. At this point of the duel, I am crazy behind in card advantage. With my opponent playing Snake Eyes TGs, my chances of winning are looking 0-0. The duel continues longer than expected, but by the end of it all, I do end up losing. Man, the more I play Dark Magician, the more I regret choosing it as my structure deck. Alright, on to the next duel. It's Duel 14, and I am at risk of losing my rank up. However, I do get to go first, and oh my god, what even is this hand? I begin the turn with the summon of Quick Fix, but it gets impermed. Not only that, but my opponent decides to also chain the effect of Shifter. Realizing I'm at risk of getting all my stuff banished, I chain the effect of my fusion spell in order to make the Dark Magicians, and pass my turn. On their turn, my opponent starts off with the activation of Dimensional Fissure. Hot damn, this duel's gonna be rough. I then realized what exactly my opponent was playing. Shit, it's worse than I thought. It's Kashtira. They summon Unicorn, and yeah, as you can imagine, they went full combo, and come on man, how am I supposed to beat this deck? At least with like the hand I was dealt. I'm sure it's obvious to you guys that I ended up losing this duel alongside my rank up. Man, I can't wait for Kashtira to get absolutely obliterated in the Master Duel ban list. It's just a matter of time. On to the last duel of the episode. We're now in the final duel of the episode, and it doesn't start off all that great. My opponent begins the turn with the activation of Max C, and I do my best to try and play around it. Man, the ladder has been brutal to us today. Also, if we get one more loss, that means we're gonna receive a losing record penalty, which is not great, especially this far into the ladder. I end up passing my turn on a copy of Circle and a set copy of Imperm, and pray that it's more than enough to hold it down. My opponent begins their turn with just setting 3 cards and passing. But all that back row is pretty concerning. I begin the turn with the effect of Souls, sending a copy of Master Plan to the grave. Once my Souls hits the field, my opponent decides to hit it with Imperm. I then use the effect of Big Red to summon Master Plan from the grave, but it also gets hit with Imperm. I then get a little silly and tribute summon Dark Magician Girl, triggering the effect of Master Plan, which gets me a copy of Sleeper and Resort. We then do a few plays to special summon Sleeper and clear my opponent's back row. Unfortunately, we aren't able to get enough damage in to get game, so we pass our turn. On their turn, our opponent summons a copy of Murmillo. We negate it with Imperm, but then they make a Sarah, and we decide to pop her with Sleeper. They then do a couple plays where they summon Murmillo twice, popping both our back rows, and it's our turn once again. Only having to contest a copy of Murmillo, we summon Rod, enter battle, and take the dub. Holy crap, wow. I am glad we ended up winning that duel, because a losing penalty would have been rough, given how tough the ladder has been lately. We need all the packs we can get. So with that, this concludes Master Duel from Scratch, episode 11. Honestly, given how half-baked our Spiral strategy was, it performed surprisingly well, and I have high hopes for it going into the future packs. Even if we don't spin Spiral again on the wheel, I'm still excited to see what we get next. The deck finally feels like it has some legs to stand on, however it's still missing some key pieces. It should be really fun to see what exactly we spend on the wheel next episode. But if you did end up enjoying today's video and want to follow me on this journey to see the evolution of this deck, then make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode. And if this is the first episode you're catching, then click right here to check out the entire playlist. Or if you're interested in other Yu-Gi-Oh content, then click right here to check out some of my speed dueling videos. But with that, I've been Topsy. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to our next encounter. Bye.